What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we're back here for another one. And tonight I'm joined by the Triple OG, Mr. Ballgame. What's good, homie?
What's good, baby? Glad to be here, man. Hold it down,
Hold down the fort, brother.
Indeed.
Yeah, man. So, before we get into the keys to victory, the matchup to watch, go over the injury report, and then we'll go over a little video of Beard versus Stash. Let's talk a little bit about this game we got coming up tomorrow night. Like, let's just give a little bit of a shoot the breeze and give a little bit of a preview here. I really think a lot of people are underestimating their defense.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, you got Kelvin Chase on and CJ Henderson, who are rookies, but you look at the linebacker core, and that thing's still led by Myles Jack. That linebacking core is still legit.
Yep.
I know Josh Allen only has one sack on the year, and they're not really creating pressure at a consistent rate. But, for some reason, Ballgame, we're always that team that makes average players look like Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
So,
right.
If there's a game in their first three games that they might pop off with the way we've been playing lately, it could very well be against us, man. I just want to get your thoughts. I know you've been impressed just as much as I have with CJ Henderson. Has been one of the best corners, if not the best corner in football since this all started. We'll talk about the offensive side of the ball in a sec here, but let's start defensively. What are your thoughts on their defense, bro?
Well, I think first and foremost, I believe that their defense, man, they playing with a chip on their shoulder. I think the fact that they lost in Yakwe, and they sent Calais Campbell away, people thought that it was just going to be this whole bunch of guys that couldn't put it all together. But, they kept the vast majority of the core, especially at the linebacker spots, and then adding that rookie, adding Chason from LSU, and then going out and grabbing, arguably, like we said, one of the best young rookie corners who's playing up to par at this point and playing up to what his name said he would based on how he played in college, gives them a lot of flexibility. Now, Josh Allen, I don't necessarily – I'm one that, like, sacks are great, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also believe that if you got a guy whose motor is consistent and he's always providing pressure after a while will burst the pipes. And, if the pocket's not settled for the quarterback, that consistent pressure is just as important as getting the sack. And they can get that. Josh Allen can get that. My concern really comes down to how dedicated Jacksonville is going to be to pressing our front five with our O-line. And watching them last week against Tennessee, who has has arguably a very good offensive line, they can get to you when they need to get to you. If they, and they got crafty ways of doing it. Like, they send all sorts of extra guys when they really want to send pressure, And I think the scariest thing to deal with is a team that really don't have nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? And people had already counted Jacksonville out, tank for Trevor and all that stuff. So Gardner Minshew out there playing, and if you go back and you actually look at the film from last week with Gardner, those two interceptions he threw, they weren't his fault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those weren't his fault. So he could have had 5 touchdowns last week, and they probably would have beat Tennessee if it hadn't been for those tip ball interceptions. And that dude's he's really playing like, I know y'all want to go get this kid, but I'm going to give y'all every reason not to go get this kid. You know what I mean? And a team that rally behind and play for a guy like that, that's a scary team to me.
Yeah.
Especially this early in the season because they don't have anything to lose, remember?
Mm-hmm. I know. And, you got, they brought in Joe Schobert from Cleveland, lined them up there in the middle with Myles Jack. They got Andrew Wingard, who's a pretty solid safety as well, right?
Yeah.
They've had 16 total pressures in 2 games. They've only managed 2 sacks, 8 hits, and 6 hurries. And those 2 sacks, one has come from Myles Jack, and the other one has come from Kelvin Chase on. So when you look, at this defense, like you said, man, 16 pressures in 2 games isn't a lot, but like us, this is a team that they don't pin their ears back and just send the house regularly, right? So, and I agree with you about Gardner Minshew, and let's segue into the offense for a sec here before we get into everything. This is an offense where Laviska Shenault has had 2 solid weeks. They got DJ Shark, who we can pretty much agree with.
Me, man.
He's one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. We got James Robinson, who basically, if people go back and do, especially after the Leonard Fournette trade, their coach came out and talked about the reason why Doug Marrone came out and talked about the reason why they got rid of Leonard Fournette was because of James Robinson. Yeah, exactly. So, and he's provided a solid, steady running game. This offense.
Can't sleep on, and you can't sleep on D.D. Westbrook.
Of course not, man. This is an actual solid offense, bro. And their offensive line, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's nothing you're gonna write home about right now, but it's okay. Tyler Eifert's never going to be the guy he was before he started racking up all those injuries in Cincinnati. But, they also got Chris Connolly. Kalen Cole has been doing really well as well. So
they got a lot of, they got a lot of
spreading the ball around, my friend.
Yeah. I think the thing that scares me about Jacksonville more so, I'm gonna keep saying this. It is hard to prepare for a team that really don't have anything to lose.
Yeah.
And the fact that Jacksonville knows how everybody in the league looks at them, yet they're willing to band together and listen to each other on the field. Because you can actually see their defense, they communicate a lot. Those guys are talking to each other consistently pre-snap. Everybody's checking to make sure they understand exactly who they have and all these type of things. And that, to me, speaks volumes to kind of their leadership on that defense, like Miles Jack and Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are actually stepping up and making sure everybody is aligned and assigned properly, and that's something that we don't have right now, right? And if you look at it and compare it between the two, the names, we have the names somewhat, but they have the affiliation. I mean, they have the relationship, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you need. Them guys trust each other. Miles Jack and Allen and Chasen now at this point. Yeah, he don't look like a rookie.
Yeah.
They trusting each other.
And Henderson don't look like a rookie either.
Don't look like a rookie either, yeah. If I'm going, listen, it looks to me like Miles looking at him like, hey, if you go, I got you covered. I got you, right? Mm-hmm. So that kid's gone. He's getting around that edge. He's getting up the field. He's causing havoc, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, where's that at for us? You know what I mean? If one guy's leaving, somebody got to cover that assignment. But we looking around like.
Yeah, but, we also have a guy in Miles Jack who was groomed under Paul Posluszny really too, right? Posluszny, sorry. Yeah. So, and who was the other linebacker they had that retired?
Oh, you're talking about Tevin Smith.
Yeah, and Telvin Smith was a monster too, bro. When Miles Jack, Telvin Smith, and Paul Posluszny were all there, they had arguably the most underrated and best linebacking core in football. And, here's the thing. They still do. Yeah, Jalen Ramsey's gone. Yeah, Yannick's gone. But they still did keep, if you look at it, their core was 4 guys. It was those 2 guys, Josh Allen, and then Miles Jack, and then whoever was left from the linebacking core. But they still got those 2 guys left. Miles Jack, who's a special player, and Josh Allen, who's a special player who learned under those guys. You know what I mean? So, and they're just passing it off. We don't have, we brought in veteran leadership. We didn't have veteran in terms of Kyle Van Noy. We didn't have it already sustained and established in the linebacking core.
Yeah, the only veteran we had was actually in the secondary, and that was X. Outside of that, Bobby was a vet, but what was he going to teach anyone? Hell, he's still trying to learn his job. You know what I mean?
And Baker's still trying to learn his job. Wilkins is still learning because he's a sophomore. And Jazz did donate $5, and he says Fins 31, Jags 24. We'll get into our predictions later, but I'll let you go ahead, ball game. I'm just going to say Christian Wilkins has been our best defender consistently for 2 weeks. And I saw someone on Facebook or Twitter trying to say, no, it was in Omar. It was in the X's and Omar today. I was in there for a few minutes, and someone was trying to say, Christian Wilkins has been. Christian Wilkins, guys, if you watch the All-22, Christian Wilkins has been standing out consistently in a good way. Christian Wilkins is going to be a leader of this defense in another year or two, and he's a stud in the making. I'm telling you.
Anyone that has anything negative to say about the player Christian Wilkins over the last 2 weeks does not know football.
Yeah.
That guy has been the only bright spot up front and on our defense, period. That dude, that's it. I'm a little disappointed in Raekwon, right? But he's a rookie. So I cut him some slack. I figure I give him 6 games to get himself acclimated to the actual speed of the game. Because
he was better this week than the first. He didn't spend this week on his ass the whole week.
Exactly.
Right? So
he's still, but you can tell he's still processing everything a lot slower. You know what I mean? Which is fine. You expect that from a rookie. So I want to see how they go about implementing him in this game plan on a short week as well, because that's going to be the question. You don't get a whole lot of install stuff going on a short week. So you kind of got to go with the script you had on Sunday, and you might add maybe
tweak it, right?
Tweak it and add a few wrinkles, but nothing over the top, especially in week 3. But we're gonna have our hands full. I don't care. I've seen a lot of shows, and I hear a lot of people talking about, can the Dolphins, man? You're looking at 2 teams, man, that really in the same position, technically, and it really just comes down to who wants it more. That's what I think it's gonna come down to. Who's gonna want it more and who's healthier? Because if we without Jones again, I don't like. We are
without Byron.
So
Jones.
I don't like X on chart. That's a bad matchup for us. And D.D. Westbrook gonna eat in the slot. I'm sorry.
Can I ask you this? From what you've seen, because I've only watched their first game and their second game once. I haven't had a chance to watch either one multiple times.
Okay.
Do you think Laviska Shenault is going to give Noah Igbenogany fits? I'm not saying Stephon Diggs fits, but do you think he's going to give him fits?
It's going to be tough for him because Shenault's size and his route running and his strong, he's strong up top, man. He got strong upper body, so he'll fight you for the ball. Noah's going to have to take what he learned from he can't take much from what he learned from Diggs because Diggs was a route running specialist. And Diggs, is a technician, and Shenault's obviously not there yet. Yeah. But it's going to be a little different matchup for him because now he's dealing with a guy with a little more size on him, a little more, a little more muscle. So the physical nature of the game is what I want to see how he embraces it. If that is indeed his matchup, because I don't see them matching him up against Shark, because DJ gonna give all our guys problems. I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, a healthy X, I ain't got no issues. But
so let me ask you, after what you've seen, because Needham struggled a lot this past weekend too. And I don't think it's a lack of talent. I'm really, we'll talk about this in a bit, but I'm starting to have my doubts about Boyer. Anyways, in terms of, I think Boyer, I'm not going to argue whether Boyer understands the defense. I don't think he understands how to call that defense rhythmically. Right. I don't think he knows how to properly, because you saw it. This man would go zone when you're supposed. Like, here's the thing: when they started giving up on the man and they started fluctuating back and forth between them,
right?
It came down to there were at times on Sunday where he was calling zone. He was just getting out coached in terms of when he was deciding to call zone or man. You should be playing the opposite, and he got baited basically into a play calling matchup because the press wasn't working. Got baited into a play calling matchup, and he was just making a lot of the wrong coverage calls.
I think probably the hardest job for a coach is being a coordinator and it being new for you. Yeah, like you're going from being a position coach to now you actually the guy in charge of all the calls.
Let me ask you this, ball game, because I gotta cut you off because I gotta ask you this because I'll let you go on, but this is an extension.
Okay.
Do you think Flores should have either A, just taken the reins by himself and had a guy in play, like just a placeholder, or B, do you think he should have just, instead of hiring in-house, he should have hired a more experienced guy with these defensive concepts that would understand what he's trying? Because at the end of the day, even if Boyer is calling the plays, we know it's Flores putting players in position, i.e. Ogba on the inside and Ogba not standing up as an outside linebacker off the edge. So
Right.
do you think it would maybe being a mistake in coming in-house with him too?
No, I think the way he did it, he's doing it because, for one, he gets to groom the guy that's making the calls his way. I think what he's probably doing a little too early is giving Boyer a little too much freedom to deviate from what our strength is. That can bite us because you did see the lapses in the calls that he made where he was switching between man and zone, and then they were catching us. You know what I mean? You got to play to your strengths, but bringing someone else in that's a little more seasoned brings about a whole nother bag of problems, because that guy is going to want to run eventually his own thing. It's hard to find people that's going to come in that want to come in and run what you want them to run. You know what I mean? Most guys with experience, they come in and bring their stuff. Like Shane came in with his own offense. You feel what I'm saying? But with Flores being a defensive guy, whoever coming in to assume the roles on the defensive side of the ball in Miami, they have to be able to run his system. And it's hard sometimes when you got guys that are experienced, regardless how good they are, to really just forget about the way they did things in their own systems and then go in and run yours the way you want it. And so that's why Boyer, being a young guy, he can at the same time groom him, you know what I mean, through this growing process of everybody learning type of thing. I think the trial on the fire works to some degree, and I imagine this is a lot of what Belichick did with him in New England, but in the same sense, I think he's testing to see how Josh will do calling on his own. But I think Josh is out there guessing more than actually. If you play to your strengths, then you don't get, and I used to always say this, right? And this was always a theory that worked for me. You don't let the offense dictate what you run. You dictate to the offense, right? Yeah. And then, the only thing you need to play is the matchup game in terms of personnel. But if you're gonna blitz, you blitz, and you don't let them dictate to you when you can and can't blitz type of thing. And that's
your own entity, right?
Yeah. And that's what he's doing right now. What he's doing is he's allowing the offense to dictate to him what he should run, and that's in essence you're playing behind, because now you're guessing. When you guess wrong, the guys on the field get exposed. But if he goes out there and he just say, you know what, no matter what, this is what we're running, they got to beat this. And if they beat it, they're going to have to beat it continuously until, we make them bend to our will. And that's what the defense is supposed to do. The defense shouldn't be out there. That bend don't break stuff. If you're a man press team, that bend don't break shit go out the window, bro. Like, you can bend don't break in a zone if you're a zone team. But man press, man press ain't no bending, right? And if you beat me, you just beat me because your guy is better than the guy that I got covering him.
And if you beat me, you eating the turf right away.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be all over you. Yeah, I'm gonna be all over you.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, bro. Does this team look better in their first 2 weeks if McMillan is still here and he's assumed the Mike role for both 2 weeks instead of Jerome Baker?
Yeah. Now I love Jerome, but I know that Jerome is very limited when it comes to run stopping prowess, and that was something that he didn't do very well at. He didn't do very well when he was at Ohio State. So this experiment that they have going on of trying to turn my guy into a middle linebacker, man, leave that be. Put him at an outside linebacker spot. Let him match up against teams that have faster tight ends, something of that nature. Let him work on fixing that aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Being outside is a whole different viewpoint than everything coming right down to shoot at you, and you got to deal with that center who is coming next level, and he's coming right to get you, and he's out
Or that,
by 110, 120 pounds. You see what I'm saying?
Or like what I saw consistently on the All-22, that left guard,
cleaning them out.
Either getting to the second level, pulling all the way to the right to sealing off the edge, and it's a wrap. You know what I mean? So he's not good in traffic, man. He's not there. Like it's funny because you say that because when he saw his sack right in that Patriots game, that was lined up coming off the edge. That was lifting off coming off the edge, right?
Exactly.
So I agree with you.
Yeah, I think if anything, obviously they can't change much in this short week. So unfortunately, we're going to see much of what we saw on Sunday. We'll see on Thursday with some tweaks. But because you can't really move, you could move Van Noy back inside and flex Jerome out, but then you got to deal with the calls and all that stuff on a short week. So maybe in game 4, they with a longer preparation time, they can start moving the chess pieces back to where they are, because even Van Noy to me looks lost right now. And I know why. It all looks different. The ball, everything, the handoffs that you were taught to watch and look for as a Mike linebacker, it looks different when you're out on the edge. It looks completely different. And then he has to always remind himself, I can't go straight down the pipe. I got to go at an angle, and I got to keep my outside arm free so I don't get pinned inside and then get washed away. So all that stuff, which is what Hightower used to do. Right? Now he's playing Hightower's position, but he didn't have to do that in New England because he was inside. He was here. Hightower was right next to him on the outside, and Hightower dealt with all of the edge stuff and turned it back into him so he could eat. But now he trying to do the same thing for Jerome. And when you got Jerome who's taking his read step, but then he's hesitating and won't shoot the gap. Now you giving the lineman,
or he's just straight over pursuing.
Just straight over pursuit, bro. Yeah. You know, now you just left the guy inside that's next to you. You left him on an island. You know what I mean? As soon as one of the middle linebackers over pursues, bro, the hole is humongous because ain't nobody there to fill it. If everybody else fills properly and that guy over pursues, quarterback standing there looking like, damn, okay, I'll take it. You know what I mean?
Everyone will see when my film analysis comes out, but I saw one of the worst over pursuits I've ever seen on film from Jerome in that week 1 game on an RPO play where basically I believe he faked the handoff to James White, tucked it in. Jerome went out wide and was being pushed out by it was Tooney who came around to seal the right edge or whatever, and he's pushing him. Bro, I'm talking like Baker. You can watch Baker's head follow James out of the backfield and all around, and then he finally sees that James White doesn't have the ball and turns around and looks to the backfield, and Cam Newton's already like 5-6 yards past the line.
That's the problem. That's the problem. The problem with the RPO stuff is that like your Mike linebackers have to be without a shadow of a doubt the most disciplined because they don't have anything but field responsibilities. More than likely, you're not going to get to the running back. Your job is to take away the cutback option for the running back, just like it would be on a stretch run. The only difference is the handoff from the quarterback and the quarterback's riding him. So if you stay home and the quarterback keeps the ball, he's coming up the field. He's not cutting back behind you. He's coming up through one of the A or B gaps, which is where you're supposed to be filling at. But as soon as Jerome watching the ball go and he takes any false step past the A gap, he's already pretty much washed at that point because now all the guard has to do is step forward and close off the hole. Now he got to run the hump just to get back in, and that's a wrap. But that takes time, though. You know what I mean? Which is why I don't understand if they want to move him and have him playing that middle linebacker, gradually transition him to that. But let Kyle Van Noy do it now so he can see it because they'll have actual footage of it on tape to be able to go into practice and show him how it's supposed to be done by a guy that you brought in specifically that knows how to do it.
Yeah, and it doesn't help when his partners like Landon Roberts week 1 and even Kamugriger Hill at times on week 2 are just struggling just as bad as he, right?
As bad as he is. Yep, exactly.
So it's just a complete shit show all around them. Let's be honest for ourselves, man. At points,
the coach. I put the lost Sunday, this past Sunday though. I put that on the coaches because you had plenty of time from the first game to identify some of the deficiencies of your guys, and some of those things are just too large to ignore. And then you go right back out there and you put them out there doing the exact same thing they were doing the week before. And instead of giving up, which, you didn't give up 200 yards on the ground, now you got them shell-shocked to the point that they're not even they're so concerned about stopping the run that they're not even getting any pressure on the quarterback. And Josh Allen just sitting back there in the pocket picking you apart.
Let me ask you this. Today in Flores' Zoom, they talked about how they've entertained the idea of moving Bobby McCain back to the nickel slot. Okay, hold on. Do you entertain Earl Thomas?
I'll bring him in. I bring him in so he can teach Jones properly.
Oh, so you want Jones to?
I want Jones.
He's been in the box in the slot.
I want Jones to be free safety.
Yeah, he's a tackling machine now. Eh?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
He's all over the field.
Earl can teach him. Everything he needs to know. He don't need but 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks of watching Earl do it and then talking to him and practicing behind him and watching him properly do it. Problem is, Bobby McCain don't have anybody in practice that can teach it to him. And with Boyer being the secondary coach last year, I'm not even sure he understands what the true responsibilities of the free safety are. So you need somebody in there that's done it at a high level all their career. If you can get the guy, bring him in. Does he not? Does he have the long speed he used to have? No, we all know that. But you never lose the knowledge, and that's what we're missing right now. You can tell our guys are out there second guessing themselves and just playing off of instinct. And unfortunately, instinct only gonna take you so far if you ain't got the technique.
Yeah,
that's what it is. But we paid Bobby his contract based off of his play in the nickel. If he's better inside, put him there. I think the biggest issue right now is that my man Needham's confidence has been shot because they giving all of the reps that he was supposed to get. Noah getting them, and I don't think he anticipated not having not being the guy when like Sunday when Jones went down. If it had been me, I'd have put Needham out there. And I'd have played Noah in the slot. Because I watched Needham. We all watched Needham at the end of last year lock up the number one receiver for most teams that we played. So why have you gone completely away from him? The best way to build a guy's confidence back up is to give him the reps, man. And if you're doing it with Noah, Needham's only a 1-year dude. Technically, he's still a rookie too. You know what I mean? You're not really officially an NFL player in my book until year 3, where you got 2 years of learning that system under your belt. He's still learning, so why not let him get his trial by fire too?
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I agree with that, bro. I'm telling you, you can tell just by looking at Needham, man. He in his head right now. He in his feelings, which he shouldn't be, but in the same sense, anybody would be if you come off of a season similar to the one that he had last year, where he went from being complete dog shit to actually being one of the best players on the secondary that we had. I'm sorry about that. I know I don't want to get you demonetized.
Oh no, that's fine.
That's really what it is, right? He earned the right to walk around with his chest out a little bit, and then you get in the, and then with a first round draft pick, they take this kid, and then you come in, and now all your reps that you were expecting to get, you're not getting. You're like, what did I do all that work last year for? If I can't get on the field, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And you really telling me that Noah was that much better than him in practice? I don't believe it.
No, I don't. Yeah. Yeah, man. I agree.
They got to play, man. Because then when a guy gets beat, then you want to throw him out there come on, that ain't fast to the guy, man. You gonna play him from the beginning. And we could have, and if we were really gonna be out here, let's be honest, we was really gonna be out here trying to figure out what we got and getting this defense figured out. Jones with the Achilles, the knives the groin, and X should have just been sitting on the sideline coaching these young guys up. I would have much rather seen that and deal with understanding that concept than seeing our 2 guys out there and then them stink it up and not really do anything. At least I know that we're building confidence for the young guys, and I can accept them making some mistakes because, in the same sense, the guy up there in the booth that's calling the plays, he making mistakes too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? So, but Sunday's loss I put on the coaches because you don't go down to the 1 yard line, get stopped, within the 5, within the 3 yard line actually. You get stopped 3 times and then go on 4th down and want to blame it on Preston Williams because he didn't catch it. Preston Williams did what every young receiver I ever seen down in the red zone does. He trying to jump up to shield the ball, catch, with your body instead of catching it with his hands and just using his body. You never got to leave your feet. The ball was not thrown high to a point that you even had to go jump up to get it.
Why are you jumping? Why are you jumping?
Exactly, right? But that's what young receivers do.
And like I said to everyone, if you watch that angle, guys, that corner, if this is Preston, that corner's coming along the left side of him. He's angling. So, guys, that's why Fitzpatrick did not lead him or put it in the numbers because the angle that corner was taking, he could have just wrapped his left arm and got in front of it if it was in front of Preston, or if it was in the numbers, he could have just wrapped his arm around the rib cage and boom, broke that pass up. He put it back to the other side of the 8 on the 1-8, and that was just a spot where only Preston could make the play. So that was the proper throw. But at the end of the day, let me ask you this, BallGame.
Yeah, man.
Do you just take the points there in terms of?
Yes. You never leave points on the field. So on that 4th down, you got three chances at it. You didn't get it. Kick your field goal. Yeah. And then you go out there and then you make Buffalo drive the entire distance of the field to beat you then at that point. Not give them the ball there. You don't get your points and now you're down by even more because look what wound up happening. We drive all the way down the field and score a touchdown and lose by 3 points. Yeah. Take them 3 points, stop them, get the ball back, make that same drive possibly. Now we tied and go into overtime. You never know what happens. You can win the game in overtime because you got momentum then. We had stolen momentum, but
and we lost it.
You gave it all away when you didn't kick the field goal. Now your whole offense, the defense, sitting on the sideline like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Defeated. Like, come on, man. Yeah. We got you the ball back. You got down there, and then you can't get in, which is fine, but get us something. 3 points. 3 points is 3 points. And that's what you lost. That's what we lost by. 3 points.
Agreed. I just wanted to show you this, bro, because guys, I've been doing an all 22 dive just for the film analysis me and EM will have coming out either this weekend or next week. And a couple of guys saw this, but I added an audio to it. These are the things. This is why I told all of you, I'm not here to see film breakdowns of highlight packages. I'm here to watch all 22 and see all 22 film analysis because you'll see things like this, who even the homie Dante Colinelli, who's one of the best on Twitter at doing audio breakdowns of film, said he didn't see this clip. Anyways, I've uploaded this clip. Some people have seen it on Twitter already. Some people have seen me. I added Kane's music, but I had to do it one even better, bro. And I want everyone to watch the time of the call to when Landon Roberts hits the turf because I think I lined up the audio pretty fantastic. Check this out, BallGame. I don't know if you saw this play. I got the audio. If y'all love Jim Ross, get ready for it. Check this out, BallGame. I don't know if you've seen this. I want you to watch. This is a Landon Roberts and Isaiah Wynn. He's getting ragdolled right now.
He said he was going to do it. He's doing it. The choke slam. Oh, the choke slam I've ever seen.
He giving up, man. Hey, man. He giving up 110 pounds, man.
Bro, I gotta hit that one more time for the JR call, bro. But look at him. I saw.
He's gonna do it. He said he's gonna do it.
Yeah. Ready?
He said he was gonna do it. He's doing it. The choke slam. On the way to hell. The damn choke slam I've ever seen.
Oh, and there's another play. You know what was concerning about that though? Okay, so the guard who was drafted by the Patriots from Michigan, Michael Onwenu. Yeah. There's a play about, I want to say about 6 plays before that, where he literally throws Roberts to the ground to the point Roberts does a belly flop to the ground. Like Michael and that's a rookie. Tossed Roberts like it was nothing, bro. Like he was a ragdoll, just boom, gone. Like, I don't know if Roberts. Yeah, there's a reason why this guy's been a backup and a fullback at times, bro.
Hey, big guys don't know how to play other than play big, man. And
hey, the ball game. Havoc wants to know, what is Landon Roberts supposed to tell his children after that?
he was a better man. I got choke slammed by a better man. I mean, what else you gonna tell them? Because you try to tell them anything else other than that, they gonna look at you like this.
Yeah, exactly.
You saw what happened to you, Dad. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Yeah, but that's the thing, though, right? He's always been a backup, right? He's been Mr. Utility, right? Playing fullback, all these other positions and stuff. I didn't put much on that guy's shoulders in terms of him coming in and being some impact player for us because,
bro, I think he's in Beagle's spot, if you want my honest opinion.
Basically, there you go.
So let's show everyone this. I don't know if you saw the Zoom session and the reply today, brother. But I sat in on
this
Zoom
about the
yesterday.
mustache, man.
Yeah, I'll play it for everyone who hasn't seen it. This is just a little bit good fun that's going on back and forth between Fitzpatrick and Minshew. Let me make sure I share the audio for everyone. So everyone can see. Guys, it's legitimately the beard versus the stash on Thursday night as well. So here, for all y'all who haven't seen it.
I think the beard is the cooler look. And I think guys that grow mustaches a lot of times have patchy sides for their beards. So they just stick with the mustache.
I think I've shown a beard with no patchy sides. But, you know, I'm gonna have respect for my elders.
Wow.
You know, especially when they're much, much elder. Oh.
Wow. Look at his facial expression.
Is he rocking the mullet?
Yeah, he's got the mullet with the handlebars, bro.
Gardner scares me, man. I don't care. I ain't ashamed to admit it. He scares me, man. That guy got a chip on his shoulder, bro.
Yep, and he's playing for that spot, that position, bro, and he ain't looking like he wants to lose it, bro. So then let's segue into let's go into the offensive keys of victory. Me and BallGame will talk about it, but these are the ones that me and him identified. So we'll go through each one at a time. So the first one we start off with, and they kind of did it last week, so let's keep it going again. Let's get Myles Gaskin and Matt Breida going early. Whether that, you know, even if that means that we're starting off the ball game using a ton of 11-man personnel. I'm fine with that, especially with the plays that Gesicki was making last week out of that 11-man. So what are your thoughts about getting Gaskin and Breida early and then opening up to the RPO, the play action, and opening up the pass game off the run game against this defense?
I'm still kind of questioning if we weren't going to get him involved and why we went and got him. I say we run them all, man. We got to have more for Howard than just and if the guy ain't the guy, then go ahead and get rid of him and bring somebody else in and make some trades or something. But we need that committee, man, and we need a power back. And that's what he was brought in to do. So the only way he going to get going is he got to get touches early. And I get that Gaskins has had a lot of success, but Breida and Gaskins, to me, are the same type of guys in terms of their ability to get into the small crevices and get out, right? But a guy like Howard behind the offensive line with the mindset of, I'm going to get 3 yards, I'm going to get 4 yards regardless, that's going to motivate your offensive line to block harder because if he coming down here with that helmet and them pads in their back and hit them in their kidneys, they have no choice but to block harder. Otherwise, they're going to be a part of the casualties. You see what I'm saying? And a power back, what's the point of having him if you ain't going to use him just for the goal line stuff? And even then, he looked like he didn't even want to be out there, bro. But, yeah, I agree. We got to get the ground game going early. The run game sets up the pass. So, you know, and there's different ways to do that. I'm still waiting to see what Chan Gailey has. If he gonna add some motion in, man, we need motion in this offense.
Well, we did have a little bit more motion on Sunday than we did the week before, but I agree, it should be starting to be instilled more and more. So,
yeah,
I know I agree with you, man.
Gotta get them going early though. Yeah, you got to establish the run game. You have to, even if you ain't getting much, you have to prove the teams that you're willing to run it. You know what I mean? That you're willing to stay committed to the run, even if you ain't getting a whole lot early. And I think the only way you get Jordan Howard to see exactly what we got in our money and our investment is get him touches early. And this will be the perfect game for it because aside from him, who else do they have? Aside from Allen, who else do they have up front? They got their DT. What that kid's name?
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about the Jaguars?
Yeah.
Were you talking about a defensive interior guy?
Interior guy, yeah.
They drafted Devon Hamilton from Ohio State this year. Yeah.
So you got a young guy in there, right?
Mm-hmm. Attack him. Attack him.
Yeah, attack him. Right? Yeah.
See, my thing is though, like, this is the 10th best team against the run in terms of rushing yards allowed. They're allowing about 105.5 yards per game. My thing is, I don't think we can afford any of those 0.9 or those 1.5 yard runs that Jordan Howard's been providing. And when you look at the 11-man personnel, when we've been running it, not only have we been finding a lot of success from either Breda or Gaskin when they're running out of it, but when we got Gesicki as that wide receiver, you know what I mean? We're finding success as well. So, we haven't found success usually when Howard's been on the field, right? It's been more 2 tight end sets with Chandler Cox on the field, right? A lot of the plays have been, and Chandler Cox at times has been hit or miss in terms of lead blocking. Sometimes he's looked good, sometimes he's looked porous, right? Because it's such a quick turnaround, and like you said, it's too late for all new installs offensively and defensively. I just think, stick to what was working. And I'm kind of an advocate with this, bro. And maybe this is the game you try it. Just let me see what I got. I want to see Gaskin get 18 or 20 carries. Show me what you got, taking a full legit workload.
Right.
And I want to sprinkle in Breda in there because obviously he's been working out, right? And then, Howard hasn't even been, it's been sometimes painful to watch him at the goal line too. And albeit when they've headed to the right, sometimes it's been on Jesse Davis and Ted Karras, whether they've kicked it to the outside or gone into the inside. But my thing here is like, if there's any week on a short week, show me what you got, kid. Show me what you got, kid. Give Gaskin the rock 18, 20 times a game. Run the ball 30 times. Give the ball like 8 or 10 times to Breda. And if there's anything else, sprinkle them out to whoever you want, man. But, and you know what? If it doesn't work, then let's give Howard the ball 20 times and see what he can do, because a runner like him needs to get into a rhythm.
Yeah,
I agree with you. He needs to get into a rhythm, but because it's such a short week, I don't know if that power lead block game has really been working well for Jordan Howard so far.
Well, see, this would be the perfect week too, because the Jacksonville's run a base 4-3. So, you really could argue that he'd be the better back to run this week because of the fact that those guys are going to be in the gaps. You know what I mean? They're not going to be lining head up and things of that nature. So a push, have a lot of 2-on-1s up front and things of that nature, with a lot of backside ceiling, could work in our favor with a back like him to get, some power running going on. But who knows, man? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping Shane recognizes that, because it does matter in terms of the defense that you're facing too. Like the dude I was talking about, his name's Tavian Bryan. So their starting D-line is Josh Allen, Aubrey Jones, Tavian Bryan, and Adam Gotsis. I'm not overly concerned. I like that Tavian Bryan kid though. I mean, he's solid, and Devon Hamilton is backing up Aubrey Jones. But they got Chason actually playing between outside linebacker and defensive end. They got him listed as a defensive end, and Shaquille Quarterman is backing up Joe Sherbert
from Miami.
Yeah. And Miles Jack's playing the weak side linebacker. So, they're in a traditional 4-3. There's a lot of holes all over the field, in terms of that from the base defense. Now, when they go to their nickel, so that means that tells me that their base 4-3 team, they're a basic nickel normal team as well. So when you go to your three wide receiver, one tight end, one running back sets, they're gonna come out in a base nickel.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing overly top exotic. Most of the teams that run the exotic stuff are 3-4 teams that they match up with you. Because they have, your fronts are different. So this will be the week, man. This will be the week to see what Jordan Howard really has. Because otherwise, it'd just be like we just wasted money for nothing. Because I don't really see, in Seattle maybe, but Seattle's a little different monster we got to tackle. So,
so win the possession battle. When they
time of possession.
Yeah, when the time of possession battle, because again, you saw, when we didn't win that possession battle in week 1, our offense looked inept, bro, because we were just talking about the whole rhythm. And then when you look at last week, we were able to get into a rhythm, especially in the second half when they made the adjustments and they started attacking the middle more. Winning that possession battle, taking the ball out of Gardner Minshew's hands and James Robinson's legs as much as you can is definitely going to be key to this, because I think, our offense, if we run that football, if we fulfill that first key, we are putting ourselves in the driver's seat to keep Jacksonville and their offense on the sideline more often than not. So that's where I'm at with winning the possession battle, guys. I think it's going to be a definite key for this team. Moving forward, especially winning ball games. This is the whole reason why you keep seeing establish the run or get Gas Cabrera going early as the number one team continuously, because this is a team that cannot afford to continuously play behind. And the only way you're going to play in front the majority of the time is controlling the football and the pace of the game, because when you do that, you can control momentum swings, guys. And like we were just saying, they had a perfect chance to control the momentum swing. They had it right in their hands, and instead of taking the 3, they decided to shift momentum right back to Buffalo, and Buffalo came right back, and that 3 ended up being the difference.
Yep.
So, and again, another week, another ask of no turnovers. No turnovers.
Take care of the ball, man. Take care of the ball.
You saw how effective we were last week with Fitzpatrick not throwing any interceptions, whether they were on him or not in week 1. We were able to, again, establish the rhythm that BallGame was talking about early. And we put numbers on the board, guys. Yeah. No interceptions. And we put 28 points on the board against a defense that I think may not be run as well as a Belichick defense, but especially in the front 7 is deeper than Belichick's defense.
Right.
So, how key do you think no turnovers are going to be to beating Jacksonville and not putting the ball even more times into Gardner Minshew's hands?
Well, that's the key, right? Generally, it's very rare that you see a team lose a game and they won the time of possession and the turnover battle. Most of the time, if you dominate those 2 areas, you win the game, right? Unless you just completely just can't get anything going. But that's not normally the case. If you win in the possession battle, that generally means that you're moving the ball up and down the field. Even if it translates into field goals, you got to finish drives with something, right? You can't just leave points on the field. We lost by a field goal. So take as many of them as you can. But, if the defense is getting you the ball back and you taking care of the ball, no fumbles, no turnovers, no stupid penalties and things of that nature, then you put yourself in the best position to win the game, because the team that don't make a lot of stupid penalties, take care of the ball, and can effectively get first downs, because that's really all you shoot for. You know what I'm saying? 6 or 7 first downs on the drive, you should be in the red zone. Easily. Take a chunk. You're going to have at least 1 or 2 chunk plays. You know what I'm saying? And the rest of them are just going to be intermediate routes and things like that to move the chains. As long as Shane is effectively, and Ryan is effectively finding guys open instead of not throwing in the double coverage and things like that, I believe we have a really good chance to beat Jacksonville. But you know what I'm saying, as soon as he gives them gifts, that I think Minshew gonna make us pay for it, and that's gonna be the problem because we're not 100% healthy. They gonna know who's the new, they're gonna know where the fresh meat at. That's obvious. You know what I mean? They'll stay away from X and target Noah. Hell, I throw at Noah too. He gave up all that yardage. He gave up the digs. I would think, I'm gonna target the rookie too, and everybody gonna pick on him. So his scoring pains is gonna be significant, but it is football. So he gotta prove it. He gotta show and prove and grow up quick. It is what it is.
I agree, bro. And speaking of injuries, bro, let's go over the injury report right quick before we get into the defensive keys of victory, and we'll start off with the Miami Dolphins. So Matt Breida, he has an ankle injury, but he's been a full participant. Clayton Fledgulum looks like he's going to be doubtful again with that pectoral injury. Jakeem Grant has been full participant all week. Xavier Howard was limited for Monday and Tuesday, and then he was a full today. Byron Jones is out. He did not practice all week. Shaq Lawson, he has a hip injury, and he was limited for the first 2 days of the week, and then he's full today. Emmanuel Ogba has an ankle injury. He's popped up on the report. He's been full. Devontae Parker, again, was limited all week, but he was full today, so he'll be a full go. Landon Roberts has recovered from the choke slam to hell and to one of the worst PFF grades of week 1, and he'll be back. And then Kyle Van Noy, who's got that hand injury that he sustained in training camp, he's been a full participant, and he'll be a full go on Sunday as well. And then going over to the Jacksonville Jaguars, DJ Shark was limited, but it looks like he will be a full go. Tyler Davis was limited, but it looks like he will be a full go. Josh Lambo looks like he will probably be a full go, and then they'll be without Brandon Lindor and Brandon Watson.
Lindor is huge, though.
That's but that's not. It would be huge, bigger if it was Wingard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, as you look at, and guys, again, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't. If you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Phinside. You can also donate through the super chat. If you'd like to become a Patreon, patreon.com/Phinside the NFL. Remember, there are multiple levels, guys. There's a 5, there's a 10, there's a 15, and there's a $20 level. And I just want to give a quick shout out, like I do every show, to all 13 of our Patreons. And of course, I always start out with Infinite Trauma and Rhino Sith, the original OGs with the Patreon. Of course, Fake Spike 94, Shake Money, Joe B, KA All Day, Ramon Casillas, Seth, Mr. Two Bits, Miguel Angel Hernandez, Slim Pickens, Ricketic, and Victor Scott Ramos. We appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for continuously showing love. And guys, if you're not opening up your pocket, that's cool. That's fine. It doesn't matter to me. Just hit the like button. And if you're here and you haven't subscribed, bang that subscribe button. We're good to go. So let's go over the defensive keys to victory, because we're talking here about some injuries, and well, quite frankly, it's going to matter. The first key is minimize Minshew's ability to make plays, ability to improvise and extend plays, ball game.
Yeah.
He's not Josh Allen.
Keep him in the pocket.
But he can get out and he can make you pay with his arm, right?
Yep. You got to keep him in the pocket.
And you got to force him to beat you from the pocket, guys. And then number 2 here, stifle James Robinson. Force them to use guys like Chris Thompson and go to the well with their running back. I know Chris Thompson is an effective run catcher, but catcher out of the backfield, but he's not a very effective runner. Force them to start to shuffle that running back room around. James Robinson has been solid in the first 2 weeks. Don't allow them to establish dominance in the run game, because, again, that will go against our offensive keys of victory, and you might not win that time of possession battle. And now it opens up and allows them to do all the things we want to do off the run. So stifle James Robinson as best as you can. And then here's a third one. Improved communication and play calling. Now, me and BallGame were talking about this before we went live. And again, we talked earlier about Dante Collinelli. There was a play, guys, from the and you saw a few communication errors against the Patriots, but there was a really bad play against the Buffalo Bills where Jerome Baker was assumed Mike responsibilities, and they had kicked Calvin Noy to the interior right beside him. And you could clearly tell the defense wasn't man, and they were deciding between the two of them who was going to take the running back that was going to be coming out of the backfield. And Kyle Van Noy nods his head as if he agrees to say, okay, I'm taking him. Next thing you know, ball snapped. Both guys end up pursuing the running back out of the backfield. Midway, Jerome Baker realizes he's blown it and he's vacated his spot in the middle of the field. He turns back around, and it's too late. Josh Allen gains 16 yards right up the middle. So, guys, you're going to need better communication, especially from that second level, to be effective and to stifle a guy like James Robinson, and even to give – because don't think for a second they didn't see the success the Bills had running crossing routes last week. So you need that – listen – if your second level is going to be disaster and you're going to be in sets where you're only running a single high safety and McCain is your only option behind that disaster of a second level, you're going to have problems, guys.
Yep.
So that second level needs to be shorn up right away. And in terms of play calling, me and BallGame were talking about it earlier. It just seems Boyer was a step or two continuously behind last week. He got baited out. They got pulled out of being consistent in man and press man. They got baited into playing a
zone,
zone and man matchup game with the offense, and they kept being a step behind. They got exposed. It didn't end well, as you guys all saw, and you're not going to be able to get that. You're going to have to be ahead of the curve this week to get a W on the board, because I'll tell you right now, not only are you dealing with bad play calling at times, BallGame, the way they're getting gashed by the run one week and then last week by the pass, because let's be honest, the Bills didn't have to run the ball. The confidence in that room has to be at a low.
It's down pretty much. I imagine it's down right now. They're probably down on each other. I mean, it's hard. It's tough because, like right now at this point, they want to make the changes, but they got to go through, and they listening to the call coming from the sideline from Boyer, trusting that he understands what he's doing. But some of them guys know, the more veteran guys, they know without a shadow of a doubt that some of those calls are bad, but you don't want to go out there and just not execute what's given to you, and then when you overplay a play or you don't play enough underneath to stop the inside runs, or you let a guy get to the edge and all that type of stuff, the first thing they're thinking is that the better play would have been such and such, because they know where they're supposed to be. They know where their landmarks are. Boyer ain't on the field, but what he needs to do, he needs to just call confident, strength-based calls. You see what I'm saying? And put down, if you're gonna get beat, if we're gonna be a man press team, all your corners are supposed to be able to do that. So let them do it. You're going to live by the sword, you die by the sword. It is what it is. And then you find out exactly whether you're actually going to be that man press team that you want to be. Better to find out early than late, right? And then at the same time, you can take in the fact that, most in this defense, right, man press, most interceptions don't come from man anyway. The man concept is just designed to erase the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Most picks coming out of zone because the corners have got their backs, they backpedaling and looking at the quarterback the entire time and reacting off of his arm and when he's throwing, If a corner if a corner is averaging a lot of high turnovers and things of that nature and man press, that's because he's cheating. He's taking chances, He out there freelancing, doing a whole bunch of things that you ain't supposed to do.
X.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get exposed. Well, and after a while, people start to know that, oh, okay, this guy's going to take chances. I can bait him. I can hit him with a double move, or I can get him, you know what I'm saying? I can get him on a zig route, you know what I mean? Things of that nature, because they show it, pump it, and he going to jump that. He going to look to jump it. Now the receiver's gone. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. So you just got to do a better job of anticipating to some degree, but in the same sense, you don't like I say, you don't allow the offense to dictate to you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, and the defense is supposed to dictate to the offense. The offense is supposed to have to be trying to figure out the defense, not the other way around. And if you're strong in one suit and you know you're sufficiently strong in that suit, you run that until they force you out of it. Not start experimenting with all this other stuff that you really don't rep that much in practice. Like, come on, man.
So let me ask you this, BallGame. Even taking into context what happened this whole preseason or lack thereof, I guess you're not a believer of treating the first two games or the first couple games as your preseason.
Oh no, I think we're treating the first four as our preseason. To be
but
honest.
I'm just saying you're not a believer. You're not a believer, right? Those first four games, that's the season. If you start off on 4, right?
Exactly. That's it. It's a wrap. You go 0-4. It's pretty much that's damn near impossible hole to dig yourself out of. But I understand it a little different with the Dolphins because we rebuilding. Right? I haven't convinced myself. I haven't convinced myself of anything else other than the truth, which is we're smack dab in the middle of this rebuild. So,
hey, bro, I said we're a 7 or an 18 win.
You did.
8-win team. So let me ask you this, bro. As you look at this team right now, and guys, we'll get into the matchup to watch in a second, and we'll get into our predictions as well as a second. As you look at this team, you're heading into this matchup. Another thing about containing and stifling that run and really forcing it into Minshew, you can start throwing the exotics we haven't had a chance to see yet. Right? Yeah. And that's something that probably isn't on film for Jacksonville so far this year because we really haven't gone there. The most exotic we've gone is like a dime. Right. You know what I mean? Like just because of the situation we've been in. So you got a sophomore quarterback, right? You got Flores coming from that defensive guru coaching tree. Is this the game where that's why you want to get on them early and often? You want to make Minshew not only feel uncomfortable, but you want to make James Robinson feel like it's going to be a long day so you can start throwing them looks that they haven't seen on tape over the first 2 weeks that you haven't been able to trot out there because you've pretty much been playing from behind for the most part.
Yeah, if you had taken any time in the last 6 weeks to practice any of your exotics, this would be the game to do it because nobody has any film on you doing it, and you have the perfect type of quarterback. I mean, he's a gunslinger, right? Let's be honest, and he's a young guy, so you would think that based on who he is and how he plays, that you could be able to rattle him a little easier than it would be with a veteran quarterback. So, yeah, this would be definitely the time that I would be taking a lot of shots at trying to send the house at him, you know what I'm saying, and get him off his spot. I mean, you just hit him. You know what I mean? Touch him. Not no penalty-worthy hits, but like, you know what I'm saying, every time you buy him, you know what I mean? Because you want him, I want him to be doing what Sam Darnold was doing last year.
Seeing ghosts,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me ask you this, bro. Are you starting the game off stuffing like if they get the ball? Are you stuffing 6 men on that line, sending the house, or are you stuffing 6 men on?
Seven in the box.
Oh, you're throwing 7 in the box, huh?
Yep. I'm throwing 7 in the box. You just showed me the report. Shark nursing an injury. So he ain't 100% now. Yeah, I mean, I got a banged up corner. You got a banged up wide receiver. I'm gonna let them duel it out. I put my number 2 guy on your number 2 guy. Somebody got to win somewhere. But I'm putting 7 in the box. You're not gonna run the ball on me. Gardner Minshew will have to prove to me that he can do it against my press coverage at that best. You know what I mean? Yeah,
okay, so as a secondary guy, let me ask you this: How confident are you with what we have behind Xavier Howard this week with Byron Jones out after you saw what they displayed on Sunday?
Not at all. But I don't care because I still gotta get these young guys their reps. They still got to go through the growing pains of understanding what it's gonna be, what it really means to be an NFL caliber cornerback. So I can't shield them from it. I can't hide them from it. Ain't no calling them. You're in the NFL now. It's barbecue and mildew, so they got to go through it. It is what it is. But I also know that on the opposite side of me this week, these guys, they're going through something too. So it's just a matter of who wants it more. Like I said before, it really comes down to a matter of who wants it more. And I got to trust that my guys will go out there and do their technique sound. And that what I saw from Noah is not going to be the same output that I'll get, on a short week. He's not dealing with the same type of caliber receiver. I don't think anybody on Jacksonville's roster is Diggs. But that was a valuable lesson he learned on Sunday. He don't get many more like that. You don't get to face a top-tier receiver like that and then be able to walk away from it, and say you saw him run a complete route tree on you, at full speed. Like, he got the best of the best. You lost the battle, but you ain't lost the war yet. So take what you learned from it and apply that to this game, and you keep building up on that, and they'll be fine. But they need to play Nick Needham more too,
Yeah, it went from getting 2 snaps on, in week 1 only on special teams to last week, man. He had how many penalties did he have again? 1 or 2?
1 or 2.
So he had as many penalties as he did snaps the week before, really, right?
I'm okay with this. I'm okay with penalties and a man press defense because the referee's gonna be ticky tacky anyway. But what I'm not okay with is guys not willing to compete. And there were lapses at times where they gave up on routes or they gave up stuff that they shouldn't have, because if you got your hands properly placed on a receiver, he can't go nowhere. You don't allow him to go. If you take half of his body away, outside foot, inside, half of his body, and you shade it to the inside, he got to go through you to get that slant off. You push him to the sideline. The sideline ain't never lost no game. I'm sorry. Sideline don't lose. You know what I'm saying? So the sideline, your friend. Now you make that throw to the sideline, and for that receiver between him and the quarterback, just that much harder. But it's the same fundamental stuff that they learn that you teach kids when they first learn to play the position. But I don't understand why guys go out there and want to square up with a receiver head on. That's ego. Yeah. Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna split you in half. I'm gonna take the inside away, right? Yeah. And I'm gonna push you. You got to come around me to get back.
Inside leverage, baby.
Always, man. Come on, man. Yeah. But you see it all the time. And I think a lot of these guys get a chip on their shoulder and they just feel like, oh, you're not going to get past, But no, you can get beat up. Jerry Rice killed motherfucker. He ran Hall of Famer off for slants.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
So here's our matchup to watch, bro. It's Gardner Minshew versus Noah Benogany, Xavier Howard, Nick Needham, basically the secondary, because, we're walking into this game. Gardner Minshew right now, ball game, is currently 49 completions out of 65 attempts for a 75.4 completion percentage, 512 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's coming off back. He's been sacked 6 times. He's got a NFL passer rating of 115.7, and he's coming in right now against a defense currently. I mean, when you look at the coverage, bro, when you got Noah Benogany, it's just not good. Noah Benogany's been targeted 13 times. He's allowed 9 receptions for 69.2 completion percentage, 163 yards. 33 yards after the catch, and 2 touchdowns.
I expect that from him, though. Early.
Nick Needham right now, he's been targeted 6 times. He's allowed 5 receptions, 89 yards, 44 yards after the catch, no touchdowns. But Noah Benogany is allowing a 151.4 NFL passer rating when he's targeted. Nick Needham is allowing a 118.8. And then X, when you look at X has been targeted 8 times. He's allowed 6 receptions, 87 yards. He's only allowed 24 yards after the catch. He has allowed a touchdown, and because they gave that Bobby McCain one to him for some reason, and he's allowing a passer rating, NFL passer rating of 149.5 when he's being targeted right now. And then, I mean, bro, Jerome Baker has been targeted 5 times. He's allowed 4 receptions, 58 yards, 27 yards after the catch. He's allowing 115.0 passer rating against. Kramu Gruger-Hill, though, he's only been targeted twice. He's only allowed 1 reception. Kyle Van Noy has been targeted 3 times. He's allowed 3 receptions. So when you get to that second level,
it's atrocious.
It's not very good, bro. It's not very good at all.
These guys have to the coaching staff has to do a better job throughout the week of teaching these guys the nuances of pass. Man is more about the feel, right? You got to know truly who you have in the matchup and how to not allow that person to put you in a compromised situation. So if it's a running back, the worst route that a linebacker has to defend against a running back is an angle route.
Yeah.
And then it's the wheel out the backfield, because a flat route, that's just a flat to the sideline. That's hell, blind man can cover that. But that angle route, you got to make sure that you don't necessarily over pursue and give too much inside leverage for him to bang it inside and then be open past the tackles and things of that nature and hit it in that seam. So I would, if it were me and we're going to play this man press.
Crossing routes and inside releases, my friend.
Yeah. Well, they could eliminate crossing routes easily too by just zoning up the linebackers and have the safeties play man, and then they quadrant it off. Oh hell, if they want to play a semblance of man coverage but have a zone feel to it, then just play cover 4.
Problem is, my friend, when you add a play action to that, you might get our linebackers to bite up.
Well, they got to do. They have to honor the run anyway, though. Yeah.
Yeah, so. I know, but from what I'm seeing in terms of it's not that hard to get our interior guys to move off their spot right now. Right. So, right. I mean, and here's the other thing that was screwing up both the second and the third level was when they were, when they were doing rub routes with those crossing routes and inside releases. Yeah. There was nothing these guys could do. It was like Noah Benogany was having headaches. I mean, he was just, and again, it's his second game, but show me something, bro. Show me something.
I gotta be mad at the kid, man. He just started playing corner 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know, but he was out of his element. He should have never been matched up with Stephon Diggs, bro. Yeah. Never. They should have said X, and I know they came out and they said, oh, well, it was a game plan. The game plan was Byron was going to be on him, and we wanted to keep everyone on their matchup, so we just shifted Noah in there. Nah, man. The hard part about it, bro, though, is this. I've been in that situation before where I prepped the kid all week. Like even when it came down to my sons when they played for me, right? They had their individual assignments all week, and then towards the end of the week, like my son Isaiah got hurt and he couldn't play. So my older boy, I wanted to switch Kevin on to Isaiah's guy, but Isaiah's guy, Kevin had prepped all week for his guy. Yeah. And so me bringing another corner in made more sense to take Isaiah's guy because the guy that was backing up Isaiah had done that film work, So it's always a decision. It's not always a right decision sometimes, but in the best interest of trying to keep a guy as comfortable as possible with a matchup he had already prepped himself all week for, you kind of want to stick to that script, because I ain't really looking at what that other receiver is doing, And see, here's the thing. I see D82 saying not his fault, coach's fault. Like I just highlighted.
Yeah.
The coach put him in a position, but here's the thing. You're at the pro level. I'm not going to sit here and use it. Justin Herbert found out 5 minutes before the game that he's going to have to go out there and play. He went out there and he played. Now, am I drooling over Justin Herbert like everyone else is? No, because like I told DM, like I'll tell all of you, show me that in week 8, week 9, when the film is already out on Justin Herbert, just like Joe Burrow. I'm very impressed with Joe Burrow over his first 2 weeks, but I'm not losing my mind over it because, and I'll do the same with Tua. Show me week 8, week 9 of being a starter, and your 8th, 9th game in, the film's out on you and you're still producing at that level. Right. That's when I'll get giddy. Same thing happens with Tua. I'll be the same way. Tua could come out tomorrow and shred the Jacksonville Jaguars 45-0. You know what I would say? Yo, I would have a little bit of a celebration. I would be a little bit giddy.
Show it to me next week.
Yep. Show me this after midseason when the film is out, the tendencies by the defense has been picked up, et cetera, et cetera. And so when I go here with Noah, man, you got to go. Man, like I said, he didn't even flash. He didn't even flash, bro. Like he was, the separation Stephon Diggs was getting was like unbelievable, bro. Like
he's playing the guessing game right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like that tells me that you need to be prepping a lot of people in that room in case something happens with injuries, and not just I don't know, man. It's just
he got what we call legitimately. He got a legitimate trial by fire, but for as bad as it looked, there's a lot of things that he could take away from that in terms of how if he's actually studying himself and how he matched up against Diggs, all the mistakes he made, he can correct them. He should be able to correct those easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree, man. Because even what was it, week 1, Devontae Adams gave Jeff Okudah the work as well.
Yep.
In week 1, right?
But I guarantee you'll see a big difference the next time they line up against each other.
Yeah, division rivals, bro. You better see a difference, right?
Exactly.
Okay, man. Let's go into our predictions here, bro. So I'll go over mine and then I'll get yours after. So right now, this is where I'm sitting. I'm actually predicting a Miami Dolphin win. I'm predicting a 23-20 Miami Dolphin win, a field goal. I do think we are going to be able to move the ball on that defense, especially with the way Gaskin has been playing right now. If we could put up 28 points on the Buffalo Bills, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to put up 23 on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, 20 points only allowed to Jacksonville. You might be saying, oh, well, that's pretty optimistic. I really do believe that, this isn't like the last 2 weeks where if you stopped Singletary, you got to worry about Zach Moss or even Josh Allen dicing you up.
Right.
I know we highlighted Gardner Minshew can extend the play and he can make plays outside the pocket, but this isn't the guy who's going to run for 75, 80 yards against you. So I do think we can stifle James Robinson. I think we can stifle them early and often and start giving them looks they haven't seen from us. That's actually what I'm expecting in this game, that you start see some exotic packages that we haven't seen in the first 2 weeks, because I think this is going to be a close game all the way through. I don't think we're going to get down by 10 or down by 14 at any point. And if we do, then we got some serious trouble. BallGame, what's your prediction, bro?
I think 24. I think it'll be 24-14. And I think a lot of that for us.
Miami?
Yeah, Miami 24-14. I didn't have any issues with the way I just wanted a little more motion in the offense than what he showed us. He added some on Sunday, so I'm good with that. But to have 28 against the Bills has me optimistic that we can put up at least 24 against Jaguars and hold them on a couple possessions that will generate offense for us down the stretch, and then we'll be able to separate from them a little bit more and put that 10-point cushion in there. I do believe that the D-line will actually have a better shot at getting to Gardner Minshew this week with Linder being out at center, and I'm anxious. I believe Raekwon Davis is probably going around the corner to help Christian Wilkins up front, and they're gonna wreak a little havoc there, which is going to force Minshew to make some erratic throws this week. You know what I'm saying? Because he's probably in his mind right now, on cloud 9, thinking, well, I can't be touched. But the Dolphins front is going to probably be able to pressure him a little bit differently, and with that, force him to throw some balls that we can possibly steal from him, and then also get those possessions back for the offense. So I'm saying 24-14. I just think that in a short week, you'd be real hard pressed to have a team not be able to somewhat duplicate what they did previously. But I think our defense is better than theirs in terms of health wise, and not as many rookies playing in different spots and things of that nature. The interior linebackers that linebacker core is probably the strength of their team right now, truthfully. But Henderson, that Henderson Parker matchup or Henderson Williams matchup is going to be interesting to watch. I'm not so concerned about Herndon on the opposite side. The safeties are good, but then again, I think if we establish the run like we have the last 2 games and get those guys rolling in the run game, we can dictate tempo to them and separate ourselves from them a bit and put up some quick early points, and then just execute down the stretch and then close them out 24-14. So
let me ask you this, bro. Is this a must win?
I think it is. It is for confidence. It is for buy-in and belief in the coaching staff that they know what the hell they're doing, especially on a short week where the adjustments have to be on point, right? The things that you did, you can't even identify everything you did wrong because you got a limited amount of time to fix certain things. So you got to find and identify the biggest glaring issues, work those out, and then just hope that the others don't show their head again. So it's definitely a must win for confidence, for the team, for the coaches. You know what I mean? Because everybody gonna have to go back. If they lose to the Jaguars, they gotta go all the way back to the drawing board. But it don't get no easier because you got Seattle coming in. So
let me ask you, bro. And no, JJ, I haven't got that package yet. Let me ask you, bro. Because me and EM have had this conversation privately, and EM's basically saying, if we lose this game, I want to see what this kid has with Tua, right?
Yeah.
Now, my whole stance has been, okay, you've already waited 3 weeks. If we lose, screw Seattle. I don't want to start on week 4. Give me week 5 against a depleted
49er squad.
49er squad, because we can start them off right out of the gate against a depleted team. And I said this to EM BallGame, and I don't think he was got what I was quite saying because it was on the phone. But think about this. Let me put you in this position, BallGame. You're a rookie. We trot you out there, and your first potential NFL win, even if they are depleted, is against the team that went to the Super Bowl last year, bro.
That matters. That's huge.
For confidence?
Yeah, that's
confidence?
a huge confidence builder. Yep. I'm with you.
Heading into now, you got to go into Denver, or you got to go play Denver, and you got to go play Los Angeles Chargers and the Rams. Mm-hmm. To me, the San Francisco, because here's the thing. Can I say this to you, BallGame?
Yeah.
I don't care if you're Tua Tagovailoa. I don't care if you're Ryan Fitzpatrick. Hell, I don't care if you're Joe Burrow. I don't care if you're Justin Herbert. Guess what, guys? I don't think we're beating Seattle the way Russell Wilson is playing right now. That man is – he's saying, oh, y'all think Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the world? Hold on a second. Hold my football. Yeah, hold my football right now. And I just don't think we're going to be able to keep up with that offense. I think that defense is still good. Quentin Dunbar had a great interception on the weekend. I think that defense is still good. They lost Bruce Irvin, but they still got KJ Wright and Bob Wagner in the middle there. Right. I think they're still a good defense. I think they can run the ball effectively. I think DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are an absolute problem. You add in Greg Olsen and Will Disley.
Listen, bro, DK Metcalf gave Gilmore fits.
Yeah, man. Fits, bro.
Fits. He had a hard time matching up with that physical.
You see that touchdown catch? Touchdown catch, bro?
That team, the way Russell Wilson is playing is a problem. And if you look at my list, I didn't have us winning that game at all.
I don't have us winning that game at all either. Yeah. But so here's the thing, bro. go give it your best shot against Seattle.
That's it. But then
I'm coming back to Tua for week 5 against San Francisco, bro.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the thing. We've already waited this long. What's waiting another week? And you know what? Especially for that first game, it's my job it's your job as a coach to put him in the best position to win, especially that first game.
Right.
So that's where I would be in terms of starting Tua if we do lose this week. I'm giving it one more week, and then that San Francisco game is the one I'm circling around the calendar.
We win against Jacksonville. That buys me another week to get him ready. When in that point, then I can afford to go into Seattle and lose, and then start Ryan Fitzpatrick against the 49ers and possibly win that one. But by week 8, I want to see him.
Mm-hmm. I think, bro, if we lose this week and next week, you're going to be seeing him a lot sooner.
Yeah,
bro.
a lot sooner. So,
yeah, man. So, any other final thoughts before we get out of here, BallGame?
I think the team, man, they just they really right now look like a team trying to sort out their trust issues on defense, at least. Offense was clicking this Sunday, so which I'm surprised, but a lot of that credit goes directly to those 5 gentlemen up front. They actually playing their asses off right now, and I'll be the first one to say I was not optimistic at all about this offensive line. And I have to say, and if I had an opportunity to say to those gentlemen in person, I apologize for doubting you, gentlemen, because y'all look damn good right now. I'm extremely happy with the success they've had the last 2 Sundays, and it can only get better from here. Obviously, I mean, most of the teams that we're playing in the next couple of weeks don't really have what I would consider premier pass rush prowess. You know what I mean? I mean, they have guys that maybe can do certain things to be a little bit of an issue, but they're not over the top pass rushing monsters. You know what I'm saying? So this line is only going to get better, I believe, in time. So I'd feel comfortable with Tua playing in week 5, based on the way this line's playing.
Yeah. And like, I'm agreeing with you, bro. Like, I was one of those people that said you probably could have got Austin Jackson at 26 and sat around, and you could have got Cesar Ruiz at 18. But, now, Austin Jackson is playing like a number 18 overall pick. And I know I was high on Solomon Kinley pre-draft, but I didn't think he was going to be this good. And to the point where he's clearly our best player on that right side of the line. And another thing I wanted to bring up to people, I know a lot of people are still up in arms about Jakeem Grant not getting targeted, Ryan Fitzpatrick not seeing him. So, guys, I've watched a lot of all 22 over the last 2 weeks, and this is what I wanted to tell you guys. From what I can tell, guys, okay, if you're going with a 5-receiver set, like a 5-receiver package, okay, empty backfield, and you're going to go with a 5-receiver set, this would be your order of progressions that he goes through and reads he makes in order. It's going to be Parker number 1. It's Preston number 2. It's Gesicki number 3. It's Isaiah Ford number 4, and then that's where Jakeem Grant would come into play, guys. That's why he's not having a successful season. I don't think not only does Fitzpatrick have a history of not targeting smaller guys, I don't think he trusts him. And I think those 4 guys that we just named before Jakeem Grant, Fitzpatrick trusts all those guys a whole hell of a lot. You could even make an argument. They're all bigger targets. Because you could even make, if someone said to me, no, I think Gesicki is the number 2 target over Preston, I wouldn't argue with you. You could flip-flop those guys. But I'm telling you, Isaiah Ford is a number 4 read progression on his routes. When he's going through his progressions, guys, Isaiah Ford is going to be right up there, bro. So, and guys, here's another thing. Even when you go to 4 receiver sets and you got 3 of those top 4 guys I named and then Jakeem Grant, when you guys saw the pressure rates, the time to throw last weekend was about 2.17 seconds for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Y'all think he's getting to his 4th progression?
Oh.
By the end of that, nope. Jakeem Grant isn't even getting looked at on snaps, guys. Right. Now, Say what you want, whether that's a problem or not. Let me know what you guys want. I don't think he trusts him. I don't think the coaching staff trusts him. He even, if you guys remember, in week 1, he almost bobbled that kick return, that punt return or whatever. Yeah. So I just don't think he's trusted, guys. And I think this is going to be Jakeem Grant's last season in the aqua and orange, guys. So I'm just going to say that. But, guys, until then, we're going to be back tomorrow night. All right? We're going to be back. I'm probably going to go live about 15, 20 minutes before the game starts, and we'll be here live for the whole game, me and EM, and we'll be opening up. Anybody that wants to join, there will be a point for y'all to join. And that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow night, boys. So until then, y'all already know what time it is. It's Fins Up all day, every day. We appreciate y'all, guys, and we'll be doing our post-game show, guys, Friday night. So we'll see y'all tomorrow night. And on the flip side, me and BallGame got a huge announcement coming for everyone, but we're going to keep that on the low, but I'll put it out there just so y'all anticipate it.
Yeah.
Until then, guys, we'll see y'all tomorrow night. It's Fins Up all day.